I thought getting my private pilot's license on my 17th birthday was a pretty big deal. But can you imagine becoming a CFI by the time you're 18? Well, today on this episode of In the Hangar, we're going to be talking with someone who has. Hi, and welcome to this episode of In the Hangar. My name's Bailey Ward, and of course we need to start this episode off by thanking our sponsors, all of which will be listed below. Today, we're going to be talking with Kelly, who is a CFI, and she got it when she was 18 years old. Kelly, thank you so much for coming out today.
Thank you for having me. I'm a huge fan of the show, and I'm really glad to be here.
That's awesome. And I just want to start off by saying that it's incredible for two 18-year-old chicks to be here talking about this. That's so fun.
It's pretty unusual.
For sure. All right, so Kelly, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I actually grew up not in a normal neighborhood. I grew up living on a small airport near the Chicago area, and before I could walk, I was looking out the window, looking at airplanes and going flying with my dad. We currently have a V-tail Bonanza. It's a 57, and I fly it today, which is pretty awesome. My dad's kind of out of the aviation gig, but I'm still flying the airplane, which is just making me smile if I'm thinking, as a kid looking up to where I am now.
Right.
It's just amazing to see how far I've come in such a short amount of time. So, I grew up flying on the airport, and I got my CFI at a pretty young age. I started getting the ratings and stuff throughout high school. Before that, actually, I started flying gliders. So
oh, cool.
I started flying gliders at age 13, and then 14 I soloed. 16 I got my glider license. I actually soloed powered airplanes on my 16th birthday also. And then a couple months after my 17th birthday, I got my private powered license, and then from there it was just game on. I just started racking up the ratings and endorsements and stuff, and I became a CFI at 18. So
that is so cool. So how many hours are you sitting at now?
I just hit the 800 mark.
Wow,
so.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. So you started to work on your license, your private, while you were in high school.
Correct, yeah. I would skip school a lot to go out and
So
go
we
to the
support
airport.
it. I just want to put that on the record. We supported this for airplanes.
Yeah, my principal was not very happy with me, but she knew what my goal was, and she knew kind of, I think deep down in her heart, that I have a better interest than being at school, but we don't talk about that. But yeah, I would skip out school all the time to go fly and go to the airport and hang out with my friends and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like juggling, getting your license, going to school? Because for me, like, I was involved in all these extracurricular activities. I played sports. Like, sometimes it was definitely overbearing. So how did you keep that flame lit and dedicated to getting your license?
It was pretty tough. I played some sports and stuff. I was on the rowing team in high school and stuff. And I honestly kind of quit all that because I realized how cool flying was. And I just kind of never looked back, honestly. And I'm happy I made the choices I did. All my friends, would say, "Why aren't you going out to parties? Why aren't you, going to hang out with us and stuff?" I'm like, I have better things to do, something that's going to make me smarter and, really help my future by going flying and getting these hours and stuff. I just knew I had a better goal in mind than making memories that aren't going to last.
Right, absolutely. And I see a lot of myself when you say that, because a lot of my friends would question, like, "Bailey, why didn't you show up to practice?" And I was like, guys, I have like these like awesome things going on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. So that's really awesome.
I feel like in a way people don't really understand it until you're involved in it.
Yes,
and it's
absolutely.
really hard to share that with people for sure. Yeah.
So I became familiar with you and your story through Instagram. So tell us a little bit about that and how that blew up. And
Yeah, so I was just at Oshkosh last year, and, of course, everyone knows Bayflight and Banner Tow Girl, and, all these really popular people on social media and stuff. It always caught my eye, and I always followed them, and I always, watched what they're doing and how, they progress through their flying and stuff. And I was at Oshkosh this year, and I was really just like, why don't I just take it more seriously? Why don't I see kind of where this goes? And so I did kind of just that. I started hanging out with some friends and stuff that are in the filming kind of industry, and they started taking videos and pictures and stuff of me, and it kind of took off from there. So I'm pretty happy with where I'm at now. Even though I don't have such a huge following, I think it's pretty cool, and I don't really try to say I'm an influencer. I just try to really promote, how cool flying is for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, you're definitely being polite because you do have a lot, and I find that awesome.
Thank you.
Because your spin on this whole aviation thing is not so, respectfully, it's not dated, You're giving more of like a hip, modern vibe that I think a lot of young people need to see, because
Yeah.
aviation for kids our age who are just totally unfamiliar with it can seem a little old school, or maybe like, gosh, I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
So watching fun videos like yours is definitely like, well, it's also for kids too. Like, it's fun and it's inspiring. And
Yeah, I try to make some funny videos using some funny audios and stuff, but I also try to make, really cool cinematic kind of videos and stuff that kind of catch people's eye. And I try to really inspire people to get into aviation because it's kind of a dying hobby, I personally think, and I think many people agree with me. And I think it's something we really need to continue going because it's going to change, anyone's lives that touch it.
Absolutely. So what do you plan on doing with this? Where do you plan on going from your CFI? What's next?
Oh boy, I don't know. Getting into my flight training and stuff, people always told me the opportunities are going to be endless. And right now I'm really realizing that there's so many different routes you can go in aviation. You can do cargo, corporate, airlines. You can fly, over fires and stuff like that and do a million different things. Really, I don't know what I want to do. I'm leaning more towards the corporate side of aviation because people say boxes don't talk back, and
Yeah.
maybe get into cargo and stuff like that. But corporate seems pretty nice. But I don't have any goal in mind. I'm just trying to stay happy with where I'm
Yes.
at and what
Keep
I'm
your
doing.
passion.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, what do you say to anybody who is maybe where we were a few years ago, just wanting to start their journey but didn't know where to begin? What would you say to those people?
I would say probably, make yourself known in the world. Don't sit in your room and, scroll on social media for the rest of your life. Go out, go to the airport, go take an introductory flight, and really do something that changes your life. Get into aviation, get into a hobby. This doesn't even have to be aviation related, but
Right.
just get out and go do something for sure.
Yeah, invest your time in something that you can see beneficial to you and your success later in the future.
Of course, yeah. Something that's going to make you smarter and work hard every day.
Yep, that's awesome. Well, Kelly, thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
out today.
thank you for
It was
having
a
me.
pleasure talking to you. And I'm so excited to see how aviation is already becoming more modernized and already getting more young people involved. So, as always, thank you guys for watching this episode of In the Hangar. Of course, this episode wouldn't be possible without all of our sponsors, so special thank you to them, all of which, again, are listed below. And they're all ran by pilots. So we'd like to keep it in the aviation family with them. So by supporting them, you support us. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this episode of In the Hangar, and we'll see you on the next.